I'm hiding my head in shame, in embarrassment. I'm sorry, everybody. 1,000 shows. And I finally, it's very embarrassing. Fortunately, Muty had a message that just popped up on my phone. Or I would have been blissfully unaware until, I don't know when I would have realized. I guess when I would have went on Discord. Well, I'm sorry, I got so caught up in what I was doing, I just forgot where I was. Hey to Rosen's here, Big Child, Staffy, it's pronounced Bug K. Muty's here, Pierre's here, Tony Brisky Botsky, Amp Mods, Zwidar, Mr. Robert. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Staffy, 27 months. Well, let's race. See if we get into some songs. My life is sort of chaos. I do much better when every day's, structured and predictable. So I think that's why what's it doing? Okay. Big Chouse is hugging the van, boys being a hard time. Me sound blame if I was doing donuts. I forget it. I mean, I know I thought about it this morning, and then I ran an errand, which I never run errands. I think I don't know. I think because I did a show on Sunday, I must have messed up my inner clock. I knew today was Tuesday. I mean, I didn't do social. I forgot to do that, so I don't have an album cover for Thursday yet. I'm juggling a lot. I feel embarrassed, but I'm also going to give myself a break because it's a lot. It's a lot right now. Let's see. I'm just sort of, my mind is just trying to figure out these, make these decisions on some key parts of the van build, and they're not things I can go back and it's like I make the decision, I have to stick with it, but I can't really do anything until I figure out a few key things. I can't even put a floor in. I can't do a single thing until I figure out Well, the main thing I have to figure out is something having to do with the structure. Because it determines how high the floor can be. Everything is dependent on this, and it's a thing that I don't understand. But I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine who's an engineer, and hopefully they'll be able to answer that. But anyway, so I've just, it's just hours and hours of research, and but I need to get it done so I can start doing, getting the build started, starting order stuff. And Rose, a reminder. No, I mean, I'm a very, in principle, Rose, I'm a very responsible, regimented person. But there's a point when life gets so difficult and crazy that rational things don't necessarily make a difference. But because my phone was off, so I wouldn't have had a reminder. That was I turned my phone on. That's how I saw Muty's reminder. I just got to get through the chaos. I mean, there's always chaos in life, but this is an extreme amount. Okay. Drum kit. Etc. kit. A wizard. Bosky, you had molars extracted? What, your wisdom teeth are molars? You, I guess wisdom teeth are molars, right? You world? Garbage. Thanks, Muty. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna feel a lot better once I'm in the van. It'll make I mean, the primary stress is not gonna change, but I think it'll feel a lot better that I'm able to actively try to improve things. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to start doing stuff by September, unless I'm not able to get materials. I've just simplified a lot of things for the van build just to try to so I can get out, and then I can add additional things that I need later. But the two core things that I have to start is the structure, and the and at least enough, and basically the electrical. Okay. Okay, sounds. Yeah, I'll try to remember, Rosen. Dark Overload. called Jade Majestics. Quiet echoes of hectic chaos. Video games testing. And Yesterday Z. And Jewels Uncovered, finally. Oh, hey to Pete. Pete's here. Welcome, Speedy Slug. Okay, here we go. Time to etceterate. I'll see you tomorrow. If the devil takes your time, steal it back or borrow. If the devil takes your time, steal it back tomorrow. If I don't follow, I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't follow, I'll see you tomorrow. There's a clock carved right in the mountain's face, and we will climb to the top and wait. There's a clock made of stone, far away from all our homes, and so we wait for the night to come, and the stars who count the seconds as they pass by across the sky. Yeah, we wait. Time's always late, but still we wait. Yeah, time's always late, still we wait. There's a clock carved right in the mountain's face, we climb up to the top, and then we wait. Then we wait. carved right in the mountain's face. We climb up to the top, and then we wait. There's a clock carved right in the mountain's face. As we wait, it is the only place. And as we wait, it is the only place. There on the mountain's face. Oh, thanks for those calps. Titles. Hey, Duel. Titles. Let's see. Staffy in the place you've gone. Oh, that doesn't work. I don't know when I'm going to fix that. Okay, we'll do it from this other screen. Oh, we got a commission. From Muty. Is this a draft? No. Approve commission requests. Yes. Wait, why is it doing that? Verifying? It shouldn't be verifying. Weird. Okay, titles. What did I say? Staffy, we had In the Place You've Gone. And then, hey, Jazzy. It's pronounced Bug K, Interdimensional Beings. Rose and Now, Ever and Never. Beauty When Nothing Becomes Nothing. Oh, and whoops, did it work? Staffy, I use 2 titles as lyrics. I don't follow and don't hit midnight. I don't think I ever sang midnight, did I? But that's what gave me the second sort of verse type thing. I like when that happens. I'll see a title and I'll intend to sing one of the words, but I'm not able to. But still, that trying to figure out a way to get to that word inspires all this other stuff. Oh, and Jazzy with 16-month sub. Thank you. Thanks, Rosen. Time piano, Melodica. One of the things that's really frustrating about doing van build stuff is it's a good thing and a bad thing. So it's really awesome that tons of people have done van builds before me, because it means there's lots of information. The downside of that is there's a lot of information and a lot of it's contradictory, and people are very passionate about the way they did it, and they think that's the right way to do it. And there's very, very little science to back up decisions that people make. And I think the thing that has been the most difficult to decide on is the floor, of all things. For one main reason that I don't want to reduce headroom, but even more significantly, structurally, I don't know if I'll be able to fit things if the floor is even an inch taller than it can be, basically. The way that things fit with the structure, with the horizontal, where I can basically bolt things into the van and the ceiling, it's very complicated. Because I have these precise heights that the keyboard has to be at if it's going to be easy to make it. So the whole van concept is built around being able to quickly change from outside to inside for shows. Right? Everything revolves around that one requirement. But with the floor, it's there's a school of thought that says you don't really need insulation on the floor because heat rises. So the floor is always going to be cold, and you mainly want to prevent heat from escaping out the roof and the sides, which makes sense. But then there's plenty of people who say that still you want to put something in. And then you have the people who are all about XPS, people who are all about polyiso, people who are going to put in a whole framing system and put in sheep's wool or thinsulate. And then there's people who are using Minocell. There's a whole, and so I've sort of gone through several different things where I've decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then something else happens, and then that idea is not going to work anymore, even in the course of 24 hours. I've decided on one thing and then another thing. He says, what if the floor is lava? I mean, where I think I'm leaning at this point is this thing called mini cell, because it's just going to take almost no height. But it seems like mini cell does very, very little. So, yeah. But I need to find out some structural things. If these structural things Duxus today make maxi, so if I can change the structure of my a little bit, then I can maybe I can put XPS in, which is, well, XPS. Here, that's the other thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get half inch XPS. It's super cheap, right? But I can't find it. You can get 1 inch, but you can't, like, none of the stores around. No one has half inch. So that, and the 1 inch will be too high. I won't be able to fit things that have to go, like the refrigerator has to go under the keyboard, and the shortest refrigerator I can find that would be big enough is I think 15 inches, 16 inches. But yeah, I need to talk to a structural engineer, because has anyone studied physics or anything like that? Or I don't know if this is physics, but this is very counterintuitive to me. But apparently, if I'm understanding reflection, the way there is that if you have two vertical posts, right, and you put something on top of the posts, and then you put a weight in between, that is going to sag more than if you have two vertical posts and you have a horizontal beam that's within the two posts, right? Not on top of them, but attached within. That, for at least on these calculators, is way stronger. But to me, it seems a little counterintuitive. That's the titles review. Anyway, so there's all these variables, and then I've found out in order to get this one insurance that I want to get, I have to have components in the van a certain way, which meant the height mattered more. It's a little hard to explain. Like, I had to know that I could fit these things so that I could get insurance. So it's just one thing after another that's, studying engineering, if you want a stronger structure, you add a diagonal. Yeah, and I can't add diagonals. That's the problem with the way it's designed. So I'm just using these calculators trying to decide how strong of these horizontal beams I need, because I can't have diagonals. There's not enough space. Yeah. But what I don't know is that I can support these horizontal structures with verticals, but I don't know how much vertical support helps. If you have a force that's being pushed downwards on your structure, does having two things that are pulling up, does that make that much of a difference? But I have a friend who works for NASA, and I'm hoping, I don't know if he'll have time to help me, but I'm pretty, if I remember, he did a bunch of stuff using 80-20, using extruded aluminum, and he's obviously got a very scientific mind, so I'm hoping he'll be available. B says verticals don't do anything for the side strength. What I mean is this. Here, I might be misunderstanding what you're saying, but let me add the poll, and I'll throw my 3D model up on screen. But yeah, I'm gonna put together a presentation with different options to make it really simple, hopefully for my friend to say, yeah, that's the one you want to do. That's the right decision. That's a terrible decision. Because as soon as I know the structure, then I can order stuff for the floors and the walls. And then I can start work. Maybe, I'm hoping by next week I can start work. Oh, I didn't shout out these titles. Soda, don't stop on the spilled lava lamp. Big job, whistling aware of that raisin. Botsky, I got my clock cleaned. I wonder where that's isn't that a funny that's such a funny idiom, getting your clock cleaned. Like, I wonder how that do you think a clockmaker got in a fight and lost? where, where does that idiom come from? What's the origin of it? Staffy, emergency Roomba, Sprouse Bug K, sunset and alarm, rose in end times twilight, and Muty Chrono, she didn't. He says, but a horizontal beam will distribute the force. The problem why it sags is because the upward force is weaker than the downward force. That's why a horizontal beam helps to siphon force out in the horizontal. And the other thing is trying to figure out trying to know what is acceptable sag in the aluminum structure, right? And it's I've seen some people say you don't want more than 1/10 of an inch, but like, what is going to happen? I mean, is it gonna? It's not going to snap, right? With my body weight, is it? I mean, it depends on the thickness of the aluminum, So yeah, some aluminum would snap. Okay, let's end this poll. Piece is metal fatigue, yeah. So over time, right? So that's why I don't want to make a mistake, because it is be a very expensive mistake, because if it breaks, all the music gear is underneath this thing that if I'm on it, comes crashing down. Let's break this tie. He says, will you reinforce the bass as well, or in the vertical? Well, at least with the design that I have, there's no way to provide support in the middle of the structure. There's no way to do it and accomplish what I want to accomplish. So my options, worst case scenario, I just have to get extraordinarily strong beams, right? That are going to be very expensive to be confident that it's not going to collapse. So, but I don't want to spend any more money than I have to, because aluminum is pretty expensive. And Doug's named it Interdimensional Beings. Okay, I'll bring this up. We won't do this for very long. We're gonna get in we'll get in at least 3 songs today. Whoops. I'm not sure, Rose, but we'll do 3 songs and then see where we're at. So officially 3 songs, and if there's an encore, we'll do a 4th. But however long it takes to get 3 songs. So if I talk a long time, then I'm committing to 3 songs. 2 more songs. So this is the issue here, right? Is let's get rid of all this extra stuff. Whoops. Press the wrong buttons. No, I need that. And I need so let's get rid of that. So it's the question is these horizontal beams right here, how strong they need to be. Now, I've seen a lot of people building beds in vans using 15-15 extruded aluminum, 80/20, which is an inch and a half aluminum, inch and a half by inch and a half, and they're fine, right? But my usage is a little different because their bed is their whole thing, right? This whole area. So their weight is maybe more distributed, but I'm going to have other stuff on that platform, not just the bed area. The bed area is only this part right here in the middle. There's also going to be, this is going to have stuff, not a lot, but maybe up to 100 pounds on this side, maybe up to 100 pounds on this side. And then there's going to be a drawer right, where is it? No. Right here. So there's going to be, I'm going to have a horizontal bars here probably for more support. So that's the question, right? Is that if I'm sleeping on it right here and I'm 170 pounds and the drawer has maybe 50 pounds in it, that weight is all in the middle of this. Rose says, how much weight can it hold? How much weight do you need it to hold? Well, that's not a very straightforward answer, Rosen. Unfortunately, there's calculators that tell me that if I were to put 200 pounds on this part right here, just one of the bars, and I was in the middle, it's going to sag. So what I don't understand exactly is how well my weight will be distributed, so that really it's actually going to be only 50 pounds on there because it's distributed amongst multiple. And then what I was asking, what I wasn't sure what Pete, if you were replying to this, Pete, but like, so the question is, if these bars right here are bolted to these vertical posts in the van, can those help support that weight by lifting it up? Pieces, the anchor points, the size and the top. On the sides and the top, it should be extremely strong because it's going to have, it's not in this drawing, but there's going to be a horizontal bar bolted into the whole length of the van, 6 feet of bar with probably 8 bolts. So these are extraordinarily strong on the edges. It's this part that could collapse if it's not strong enough. But there's going to be a lot of, I don't think these are not going to rip out of the wall. It's going to be, that part I'm not worried about. It's just whether it's going to sag in the middle. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And if you're curious, if you're interested, I don't know if this is the company I'm going to use. They're the more expensive company, but this is sort of does the math for you to try to figure out how much it's going to deflect. So if I were to get 30 by what's called 30, what is it, 30/30? That's 3 inches by 3 inch aluminum, right? That's going to be fine, but that's a ton of money. He says, what is so big that needs the whole floor on the bottom? That is because I need this whole passageway right here for the keyboard to pass through the van. That's why I need that space. And why I can't have verticals there. Now, if there is absolutely no other solution, I could potentially put verticals there and sort of but it would just make dealing with the keyboard very challenging. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rosen, it's plenty strong. The amount of people are doing much more heavy duty things than what I'm doing, so that's not a worry. It's just I haven't seen anybody. Generally, you see people when they're doing this kind of construction is they're making essentially boxes, and so there's a lot of support all the way around, and there's more beams in the middle, right? There'd be beams right there. But for beds, I've seen plenty of people do beds where there's nothing underneath. But this is potentially more weight and more pressurized weight than a normal bed would have to take. Pieces you can move the keyboard, they're 90 degrees. That's a worst case, right? That's what I was saying. That's a worst case scenario, but that's really going to limit me. I don't want to do that unless there's no other solution. I'd rather spend $1,000 than do that, because it just really complicates. It means essentially I'm going to have to take the keyboard out all the way every time, as opposed to keeping the keyboard supported by the base, if that makes sense. And the keyboard stand is going to have all of my gear on it. And it's not going to be that heavy, but it's going to be difficult for me to navigate, if that makes sense. So that's a worst case scenario. But you're right, that's what would work, but I don't want to do that unless there's no other way to do it. The keyboard thing won't be that heavy, relatively speaking, but the keyboard itself is about 35 pounds, I think. And then there's going to be the base of it is probably going to at least weigh 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and then there's going to be other gear on it. There's going to be an audio interface. I'm pretty sure it's going to be over 50 pounds, 60 pounds. And because it's so big and awkward, if I'm moving it over and over again, I'm worried I'm gonna eventually drop it, basically. So I want to have a structure where it is never unsupported. Yeah. Hey to Chilsey, Megs, and Jason. So there is a solution that will work. It's just very expensive. Like, I know if I got 3" by 3" horizontals, that is incredibly strong, right? That is twice as big, 4 times as big as what people are using for their beds. So that would work, but it's just, I don't know, it'd be like $600 for 2 lengths or something. How much space do I have on the computer? Oh, we're fine. Okay, let's see. He says you're going to secure vertical groove as well. Yeah, so that's they're going to be secured because I'm going to have drawers and stuff, but I'm hoping they'll be structural as well. But that's what I don't know, if they'll help with the horizontal. But you see, so on the roof of the van there are 4 of these ribs that people use for it's structural for the van, so you can use it as your own structure. So those could 3 of these rows will be bolted in up there. Yeah, that makes sense. Whoops. Oh, are there not downloads for today's show? I thought I did. Is something not working? I think I generated too many for today's show. I was in such a rush. Did it not work? You did get a download, okay. Um, he says two simple square bars would probably do fine. Road speaking, they won't have much weight. No need for all those verticals. Well, I still need the verticals for other purposes. So they're going to be there regardless because the verticals in the long run are gonna support, um, drawers there and also something there. So I'm gonna need verticals anyway. Yeah. But they don't need to be very strong for the purpose of the drawers. So I could get smaller verticals. If they're not going to provide any structural support to the horizontal, then I don't, I'll get 1 inch, 1 inch as opposed to 1.5 inch. Okay. Thank you so much, Staffy. Staffy says from light Bema to aluminum beams all in a few months. Thanks, Staffy. Thank you. Jay says for wooden structures, I like hollow core shells, stronger, lighter, lower cost. Yeah, I'm gonna use as little wood as I possibly can in the build. Um, I'm gonna have to use some for the drawers, but stuff. So we do a premiere show. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Tommy's ready to go. It's all ready. I just uh yeah. Um, so I don't know. It'll probably be this week. One of the things I'm gonna have to figure out is is safety. Most van builds, everything opens up into the van, right? This way. My things are all going to open up right towards the driver's seat. So I don't think I'm going to trust latches. I might even I think I'm going to want to have like physical braces. So I might even essentially put bars in front of the drawers so there's no way they could slide out, which will be annoying to have to carry extra hardware to do that. But I'm very aware that this is not a safe design without major reinforcement. I was watching van crashes today of the interiors of van builds and stuff, and yeah, it's not a pleasant sight. Pieces drawers always open to the outside. I'm sure that, the majority of van builds I've seen, you walk into the side door and then there's basically a very narrow hallway, the length of the van, and there are cupboards that line the long way of the van. So they don't open, they open 90 degrees from where the driver is, as opposed to they open into the driver. But this is the only setup that I can figure out where I'll have enough space to do this, to be able to easily switch the show from inside to outside. And I really wanted to be able to do the show and have the windshield behind me so that you know that it's very clear that I'm in a van. you know, so that really limited my options. And my keyboard setup is essentially the width of the van. So yeah, doesn't give me a lot of way out options. Jay says welding rivet screws. Muty says you build a van or a Ford. So I'm learning about these things called riv nuts. So the van built into it has holes that are meant to be used for putting structures and stuff. And so I'll be using for the main horizontal beams that are going to basically support the entire structure, the main thing that the structure is bolted to. I'll put riv nuts into those holes and then screw the aluminum into those. Yeah. So the horizontal, it's going to be extremely strong. The horizontals, there'll be no issues with that. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a melody. What are we? Just the E double flat. So I'm in the B double flat. I got it right, but it took a second. My mind is in vans, not in harmonics. let's see. Pieces airplane that open towards driving. Yeah, I think just having seen these videos and how when if I basically it's basically head-on collision, right? Where just everything in the van is gonna just want to go towards the driver. It was scary watching these videos. So I don't intend to get in an accident, but I don't want to get decapitated by my trumpet. you know, I mean that'd be sort of an epic way to go. Musician killed by his own trumpet. But yeah, I want to avoid that if I can. Okay, we got Muty's commission. Yeah, Rose, and it's not so much reminders with Tom and him. It's just that it has to be. It's just a secondary priority right now. It's going to happen when it happens, and I think it's Tommy is not going to be steady again until I'm in the van. I want to do as many episodes as I can between now and then, but honestly, it's more important to, if I feel like I can't do the van build and do Tommy at the same time because it's just too stressful, then I might just do the van build. But we'll get episode 7 out soon. Tim. Oh, we don't have our. We need to get our kit. Oh, it's time. 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 Okay. I was wondering. I wonder what significance Tim has to Muty. I was thinking maybe the next loop's going to be tiny, tiny. Wait, is this the same kit as the previous kit? They sound. Oh, it's a different drum. It's a different snare. That's why. Okay. Okay, we got our beats. Sounds. Muty knows two Tims. Oh, it didn't load. Ballad electric bass. And then Underwater Aliens. 4XL. Whoops. Space Travel Guide. And Sawtooth. Oh, yeah, I understand, Rosen, yeah. Okay, let's see. Yes, Doug, KQM. Yeah, thanks again, Staffy. Hey, spy on my GPA. Send this poll. Whoops. Wrong place. Okay. Here we go. Time to accelerate. Oh, here's your sound. KQM. Oops. Thanks for those scalps. You know, I think one of the best things about moving into the van is I'm not going to have to use Comcast anymore. You know, I mean, we're gonna have probably more problems, more. I'm sure we'll have a lot more streaming problems, but at least it'll make sense. You know, there's no excuse for Comcast. But if I'm in the middle of the desert somewhere, I mean, okay, yeah, like we're gonna have issues, but I'm in a residential area. I pay extra. I pay extra to Comcast for better internet. And okay, so I lowered the bit rate way down, so I'm probably all pixelated. We'll try to turn it up again. I mean, this is the third or fourth show where we're having these issues where I'll see it and it just suddenly drops. I've tried restarting. Oh, thanks, Charlie Panda. Did we have a raid? I don't see nowhere. Oh, Spazify. Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Big Child. Thanks for the donation. Spazify says Sid could have just stopped it. I pay extra to Comcast, and it probably would have been more accurate. Roses, you need to reset your router again. Yeah, I don't think that's. I mean, it didn't fix it last time, so. I restarted that computer. No, at first I thought it was just on that computer, and so I figured, well, maybe it's a problem with OBS or something. But then I did manage to do a speed test on another computer at the exact same time it was happening, and it's upload. It's the download speed is. I have 600 megabits download. But my upload will drop down to 1 megabits. Is that how you say it, megabits? I don't know if I've ever heard it said out loud. Y'all say megabits? Am I saying it right? Oh, good night, Pete. Megabits, but is it megabits per second, right? So it's MGPS, right? Is the abbreviation? What is the abbreviation? Yeah, MBPS. So that's why I call it megabits. Megabits. I think that's how it should be pronounced. Because megabytes per second is just too much to say. Megabits. He says, funny part is bibs means butt in Dutch. You just said megabyte. Yeah. Let's see. Titles splat my GPA with Funky Mango Pop. Oh, that screen doesn't work. I keep forgetting. There's a few things that broke. So I moved the server over to the laptop. And there's a bunch of things that is broken that I hope to eventually fix, but okay, we're gonna have to do that in a second. Do titles in a second. Just to publicly bear my shame. If you weren't here at the beginning of the show, you might not know that I lost track of time and forgot that I had to show. I started 2 hours late. I want to say I had an excuse like tech problems, but no. I mean, the tech problem was my brain. That was the problem. But it's the first time this has happened in 1,000 shows, or however many shows I've done. I don't think it's ever happened before. I've definitely started late before, but I think it's always been technical problems, or I've warned y'all in advance, but this was the brain computer stopped working. Okay, okay, well, now I can do titles. Spot my GPA with Funky Mango Pop. And wow, also the Nectarine Nebula. Miss Robert Astral Aardvark. And Jazzy Terrestrial Turnip. He says, thanks so much for the groove. I did my best to find sounds that's in their own frequency, and you knocked out the park. Isn't fat drums and percussion? Yeah, that was the key. Yeah, that y'all should request those percussion. We need more percussion like that. That's really fun. It is cool because it has a beat to it, so I can do single notes or I can sort of use little bits of the beat. It was cool. He says, you even made me stand up midday since that happened. Spazify says, fun fact, we were talking about one of your recent pieces I really liked and was playing on my channel and we saw you were live. Oh, awesome. Jazz says, you need more percussion sounds. I know, I need to add more. Well, the most fun are the percussion kits like that, you know, that have a whole bunch of different ones in a single sound. That's what we need more of. What am I looking for? Okay. Man, Tubi is such a more of a pleasure right now running on this. Technically, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to have my server and the local thing on the same computer. But it's so much faster. Oh man, everything is more responsive. It's amazing how much seconds start to wear on you. You know, because I've done this show. You know, I've looped through the show 5,000, 6,000 times, right? And when I have to wait 2 or 3 seconds for a step to finish that Tubi's doing that has to do before I do the next thing, it just starts to, you know, it's enervating. And that's when I start talking, right? Is things get slowed down and I just, so I start talking to y'all. Okay, let's see. Yeah, thanks again, Big Child. Oh, we have double drums. We'll do that. Remind me. It's easiest for me to do that sort of after we've processed the request. So. Muses puts on a central impression. You think a second is long for you? Should be on the receiving end. I know. Oh, and did I say hi to Hug Queen and Crom Blaze? Welcome again to Charlie Panda. How about the? I put the auto filter on the Tine piano sample. Some other titles. Let's see. Jazzy with Silly Sensations. Staffy, Planet of the Grapes. Splat My GPA, The Void's Ringtone. Muty, Egg Planet. Okay, it took me a second to get the pun. I got it. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Rose and Zucchini Bikini Astrotini. It's Brown's Bouquet. Way to rock it. Send this Poe. Oh, Doug name sound. Keep calm moving. Oh. Well, title polls were faster. They're not fast today. Oh, what's it doing? I don't know. Did I just jinx myself? Guess I jinxed myself. Let's break this tie. Celine is chosen option number 4. Jazzy, Terrestrial Turnip. Thank you, Jazzy. Terrestrial Turnip. Thanks, Muty, for the commission. We got a first request ever, Charlie Panda. If you didn't make these requests, it's because you followed, and you get some requests in your honor. So in the future, you have to manually make requests. But this will get you up on the board right away. Drum fill, a drum loop, and a sound, a random sound. Hey, Blue. Losing my fashionably weight. Not as late as I was. Or you're less late than I was. That's how late I was, Blue. Okay. In researching van build stuff, I'm just reminded how confident people can be while not knowing anything, which I certainly have done myself plenty of times in my life, shown lots of confidence when I have no clue what I'm talking about. But it makes research difficult when everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert. Oh, let's add another drum kit. Oh, and hey, unity of balance. Blue Dubba, he says sort of opposite imposter syndrome, yeah. Yeah, what's what is that? Is there something of the Dunning-Kruger? Is that what it's called? Dunning-Kruger. Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect. In psychology, a cognitive bias whereby people with limited knowledge or competence in a given intellectual or social domain greatly overestimate their own knowledge or competence in that domain relative to objective criteria or to the performance of their peers or people in general. But almost all of us do that at least some of the time. You know, we overestimate our okay, let's see. Oh, Jazz says, do you have a plan for venue names for Saturday since radio's down, too offline? Just give lots of random. Yeah, just if y'all could just submit a bunch of random venue names, and I'll get some abstract art that anything will work with. Yeah. But yeah, if you didn't heard, the van is our radio is gonna be is on hiatus, indefinite hiatus. It's like a boy band, you know, that they go on indefinite hiatus. Although I guess that hopefully it's not like a boy band. Hopefully it'll come back someday. but yeah, no more radio. He says you can be one of those people as well. You have van life for now. You get away with that. You want more visibility of van during storms? Get a Periscope. Yeah. Yeah, Pierre, you didn't miss much. I started 2.5 hours late. I got caught up in what I was doing and forgot I had a show. Okay, let's see. And I wasn't looking at clocks or anything. My phone was off, and then I turned it on, and there was an alert from Muty. Is everything okay? I can't remember exactly what Muty wrote, but you know, it's this funny thing when you that moment of realization, you know, when you realize you've forgotten something or you've messed something up. That sort of, it's not always instant. It sort of takes a moment of realization, and then, you know, what is it, the seven steps of acceptance or something? Okay, let's see, drum kit. Oh, thanks, Jazzy. Hip hop heavy kit. Trance Remix V1. No, I think the day is a blur, frankly, because I was so caught up on what I was doing. But I think what happened was, I think my phone battery died, and then I plugged it in, but I plugged it in far away from myself. You know, so it was unavailable. And there, you know, there's benefits. There's benefits of a mind that can be so relentlessly focused that it, you know, it allows me to work insane numbers of hours. But it also means sometimes things like this happen. Oh, this is the first time in the history of my career on Twitch. Although, watch, I'll forget, and in a year it'll happen. I'll go, first time it's ever happened. It's never happened before. Okay, double drums. I do usually Rose, and I usually try, but it's I'm using it's just still I don't know if Soda's still here, but Soda gave me her used I think it's an iPhone 6 or something. So it's just the battery does not last very long at this point. I think it's an iPhone 6, and I think you gave that to me 3 years ago. So it's pretty old. Oh, you know, and I think I might have I think I replaced the battery even. I did. I replaced the battery once. I'm pretty sure. I have memories of replacing a battery on a phone at some point. But in any event, the battery does not last super long. And I have not switched over to the other phone yet. I mean, I'm gonna keep this indefinitely because this is on a very inexpensive cell phone plan, and also I'll just use this for personal. And then I'm gonna need to get when I'm in the van. I'm gonna need to get a better plan, but that'll be my business line. So then I can deduct it all because it'll be, because it's legit. I have two phones. One is for my personal, one's for business. But cell phones are, man, the plans are so expensive. I'm on a plan that's this plan is $15 a month, so, but it doesn't do much. And the other problem is, I think when I changed the battery, or maybe it was the compass GPS in here doesn't work that well. So I'm gonna really need something when I'm in the van. I'm gonna need a cell phone, something that's working. Okay, let's see. Here's Mr. Robert. First beat. Okay. And then Charlie Panda. Okay, then we have actually double beats. So here's our other kit. Except I have to change it to the drums, not piano. Let's give ourselves 4 on the floor. We'll have one kit that's showing off and one kit that's more of our stable, reliable beat. And then Charlie, second beat. Oh, this one's crazy too. We'll make it a little more stable. Let's okay, got our beats. Sounds. Hit that funk. Maybe hits make believe. Oh, so that feature's not working right now, is it? Whoops. Singing electricity? It's a nice car you got there. Oh, no sound though. Oh wait, was that UEH? Oh, no, two sounds are messed up. Okay, stinging electricity. Okay, that was wrong. Stinging. Whoops. UEH. Okay, here's stinging electricity. And then here's, that's a nice car. Proton ignition. Oops. PWM detune. Okay, y'all pick which sound starts the improv. Was that really loud? It's such a, I have to move so many things. Oops. Once we're in the van, it'll just be one move per show. And some, or zero moves. I won't be able to do this sort of every song. That's not going to be possible. Does it sound like the chair is being disassembled? Okay, here we go. Oh, and Soda named sound Odie the dog, and sang very music. Okay, here we go. Time to etceterate. Thanks for those scalps. Oh, hey, Fosmeric. Fosmeric's here with Mind Shuttle. Except that's the wrong screen. I can't do it there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Jazz says 3 songs to which I missed. Should be late more often. Let's see. Let's see, 3 more titles. Let's see. Hug Queen with Escape. Yeah, whoops, was Pierre forgot to forget. I'm not going to use this one, but I'm going to shout it out. I love your title, What About the Octopus? Stabby. But I'm going to put up, for this song, I'm going to put up a Hollow Memory. But I love What About the Octopus? I feel like that could be a game show or it could be a sitcom. I think I need to do more surreal, just sort of go all in and on some surreal things where I'm imagining a reoccurring sketch that always ends the same way. It always ends with What About the Octopus? Every sketch, no matter what happens in it, that's how it ends. And it would only work once you'd seen it a number of times, and it would start to be fun. I think it'd be funny. It's the kind of thing it wouldn't be funny until you'd done it enough times, and then you're sort of laughing at it. Does that make sense? But yeah, I love that name. Could be a band. What About the Octopus? Let's see. What do we have? Voice? Just voice, right? Oh, I did a little bit of the time piano, didn't I? I think. Did I? Did you tell me, Rosen? Does anyone remember? Did I do time piano? Oh, and I used, and that whole lyric came from Jazzy's title, Spinning Round. She's spinning around like a merry-go-round that wants to escape the ground. Voice and time piano? Okay. He says, would you rather have 8 arms, the ability to stop time, but no arms? Stop time? Wait, does it stop for me too? You need to define that more. Does that mean... I guess it would only... Stopping time would only work if it didn't stop for me. Right? If it was just I put a pause, then I wouldn't even know that I'd stop the time, right? Because when I... So yeah, if I can keep going, I would do the time and no arms. It's on my end, Jazzy. I can see it. I mean, I'm almost tempted to get that gear now, but my philosophy is don't buy something until you have to have it. Because you never know. You never know. But if Comcast keeps being bad, I guess maybe I have to have it. But I'd have to get that gear, and I'd have to get... I mean, it's a lot of... I mean, I have to get it for the van, but... Oh, no, I see the kid command, yeah. The kid command doesn't go to me instantly. It just gets added to my event list, which I'm going to see eventually. So my FTP is not working. I feel like it was working on... It was working yesterday. Or Sunday when we did the... Some of y'all missed it. I did 3 songs on Sunday, but we're calling it part of Saturday's show. Since Saturday's show never really ended. Because I spent Sunday, all day Sunday, converting, moving trying to repair. I reverted to an old database again. I imported, and that's a long project. That takes like 4 or 5 hours to do. And then I installed server on the MacBook, and I wanted to test it, so we did 3 more songs. Rose says, well, if I'm looking at chat, then add ETC Kid, but if I'm not looking at chat, then exclamation point Kid is better. Oh, you saw the VOD, Doug? Big Child was going to go with the 8 arms. Is that what you said? And Muty too. I feel like so much of my angst in life has been about time. So having unlimited time, I mean, I wouldn't be able to play any physical instruments, but man, what I could develop with my voice. Although that's the thing is with your voice, you can't work as hard with your voice as you can with instruments, right? I mean, if you were to be singing, like if you're a jazz saxophone player or a jazz piano player, it's realistic to be playing 8 to 10 hours a day for decades. If you did that singing, most people would destroy their voice. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't work. Well, but I could do lots of other things. I could use my brain. I could sing in my brain. Yeah, I'd still would choose time. I'd still would choose the time. He says, could the commission be reason it could slower? Don't think he had commission tests so far, just songs. Oh, no. The commission is a very tiny little function. Well, let's see how the poll ends. Let me shout out a few more titles. Blue with Goober Tutorial. Big Child, Kid Lost in Time. Miss Robert, Lucid Dreaming. Jazzy, slid into second base. Staffy, priced as quoted. Muty, stand your fairground. Rosen, twirl me dizzy. Bug K, spinning tonic. Fosmeric, snapshot escapade. Hug Queen, strange words. Okay, what's in the poll? I mean, it's still things are still faster. It's just for whatever reason I need to figure out why. There's some reason the title polls take forever to end, and they're really fast on Sunday. Let's see, one. Oh, let's see that it was really fast that time. Although my internet's dying, I don't know if you even see me saying that it was fast, but that one was the way it should be. Let's drop our bitrate again. This is unacceptable. Let me just double check. Let me do another speed test. See if we're getting that same issue on. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I don't know if anyone can hear what I'm saying, but it's on both my computers are, the upload speed are absolutely dying. I'm just talking to the void right now, probably. Foz, oh yeah, it's 0. YouTube will watch it. YouTube, hey YouTube. Right now, the live viewers are missing this. So I guess there's benefits to not watching it live. This is unbelievable. 3 streams in a row. Unbelievable. Oh, now it's going back up. I wonder if anyone is refreshed and can see me. Mind Shuttle. Oh, I'm back. Oh no, Fosmeric has named it Mind Shuttle. In the bottom of, I mean, I don't know if anyone can see this, but Blue says I like Cloudflare speed test. You know what I want, Blue, is a speed test that does the upload test first. You know, I don't care about the download. All I care about is the upload. Cloud flare speed test. Oh, my downloads dropped to 2. It's just so erratic. Oh, Blue says has to download the test payload first. Oh, now it's great. Now it's, well, now it's 15 megabits. I think I'm back, maybe. Blue, does the Cloudflare one, is it something you can just leave running? Like, is it, it looks like it's just, oh no, it stopped. It stopped. But my upload is back to 21 megabits. Sure, Rosen, yeah, just a sec. Let's try to raise our bit rate again. I better go back to 1,000 bit rate. It's struggling at, oh boy. That's cool. Is that the sound of the low bit rate? It does sound like, it does sound like it could be so why is my, yeah, weird. Our show was live from Interdimensional Beings. No, that's its name. It was live from it. It has nothing to do with this title. We had live. We did Interdimensional Beings, Terrestrial Turnip, and Mind Shuttle. It's almost. Oh, it is. It's still 60 minutes of music. It's not bad. At least for an album, not for a 4-hour live stream. Well, it was a 3-hour stream. Okay, let's see. I wouldn't be mad, Rosen, if you named it that, but I do generally, I mean, I'm sure some have slipped through that I wasn't thinking about as it happened, but I generally want to avoid having trademarked words. So if you want to change Comcast slightly, so that it's not their trademark name. Like maybe just remove the vowels or something, or one of the vowels. Or you could call it Concast, CONCAST. That seems appropriate for what they're trying to pull over on us customers. You know, I've had the modem replaced twice since I've been here, I think, and they've been here twice to fix wires, either once to the house, once in the street. I mean, I'm glad they at least did something, you know, but it's. Let's do our thank yous. Mods, Megs, and Tubi. We had donations from Staffy and Big Child, thank you. Subs from Dual, 34 months, 16 for Jazzy, 27 for Staffy. Yeah, you can do that too, Rosen, if you want, contrast. Thanks to our lurkers and chatters. These 12 names you see on screen either named or current tour, named or venue, named one of our songs, made a request one of the songs. We featured characterization of characters, Rosen, Charlie, Panda, Foz, American, Big Child. It's pronounced Bug K, Jasmine, Schrar, Pierre, TV, Staffy. Tonight the beauty seems so loud, I wish that we could lose this crowd. To McGuire and wow, soda. Here's my van order of operations. Need to remove the walls that are on right now, which is not a dot, should take a couple hours. Then I need to prepare a little presentation so I can get advice from engineers on the construction. I think that's probably going to take about 5 hours of work, because I'm going to make I'm going to do it in Blender so I can show all the different design options I'm considering, and I can get a. Then I'm gonna order. Once I get the go ahead on the design, then I'll know exactly what I'm gonna get for sound dampening, floor, and wall insulation. So I'll order that. Sound dampening should take about 5 hours of work. The floor, I've seen people, I don't know how it can take this long, but people say 25 hours. It seems, I don't know how it could take that long, but wall and ceiling insulation should take about 16 hours, according to folks. Again, that seems, I don't know how it could possibly take that long. And then building the structure, I have no idea. I think it might take 40 or 50 hours. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be fast. The electrical is the thing that I think I need to be prepared to be like 80 hours. I mean, just because I still have so much I have to learn and figure out. And then installing the heat should take about 10 to 20 hours. And then at that point, I'll be ready to go out. There's still things to do before I could, it's like permanently, but at that point, that's about 200 hours. The things I will not have done at that point is the solar, the fan, and any sort of any aesthetic things. And what else? and I probably won't have finished the structure. I'll have just enough of the structure to be able to do the show and to be able to work. Muse is 25 hours, that's so much content you can make a mini-series. Well, I have to figure out how I'm going to do it because I've just established a pretty fast-paced thing for Tommy Nomadic. And I don't know if I do. A lot of people do these extremely long, tedious fan build videos, which I know, which are useful for learning, but I don't know if they give the best, if they fit into what Tommy Nomadic is. So my inclination is to do it much more condensed. Blue says take all those time estimates and quadruple if you're filming. Right. Exactly, yeah. Filming will slow it way down. Because I think YouTube will appreciate it more instead of having fully decked out van. Yeah, it's going to be a slow evolution. I'm sure it's probably for maybe for the first 6 months to a year, I'm just going to have walls that are made out of insulation. And I'll probably get used to it and not want to put anything else up. Well, the only thing I don't like is the insulation. The backs it's black. And having, it'll be a little depressing to have everything. So I'm going to want to cover it with something eventually, just because it'll just feel really dark, But I might I don't think I'm going to want to put up wooden walls and ceilings. I'll probably eventually do the stretch, the car interior type, what is the word? I guess carpeting, sort of stretch carpet that people do in vehicles eventually. But, oh, good night, Staffy. Thanks again. Good night, Hug Queen. Because we're used to you being insolent, so walls could be a nice accessory. I'm gonna put my blender thing up on screen again. This is all I'm thinking about, pretty much. 24/7. This. Let's just. I want to be full. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, Rosen, a good time to ask would probably be in the fall. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna to be able to think about things like that right now. But in the fall, that should be fine. Well, Rosen, in episode 6, I walked around with I think no glasses and no hat, right? Or did I had glasses on? One of the challenges with the transit, it's not as the it's even less consistent with the angles than it looks like with the pattern that I'm using. Um, I mean, one thing to keep in mind, Rosen, is I wear the hat pretty much except when I'm sleeping. I wear a hat, something, so the person who doesn't wear the hat doesn't really exist. Um, let's see. Besides, assume you gave yourself some room for error. Um, well, yeah, it's really tight. So that's why the trick, the challenge I'm running up against is that ideally, um, ideally, the keyboard stand would be the perfect height when I in the back when I'm outside. So because I can just stand up and it's right. Everything's me at the right angle, right? The problem with that is that it cannot go any higher than this, or it's going to be too high. Uh, but this gives me very little space to fit the fridge. And it gives me very little margin for any sort of insulation. So it's not a big deal if this gets a little raised up in the inside of the van, because I'm going to have some sort of chair sort of platform, and I'm going to be seated when I'm doing shows, inside. So that's not an issue. But what I may have to do, well, and the other thing is that where I can do the horizontal beam, which again I haven't put on here, but the best place from a structural point of view is to put it right here, which would mean it's too low unless I had vertical beam. I don't know. So there's just all these variables. Yeah. Yeah, Rosen, you're never gonna see my hair brushed, because that's just not. I don't brush my hair. So I can tell you now, you'll never see that. I don't own a brush. I don't even own one. I don't own a comb. I dry my hair and I use my fingers to do. So yeah, unfortunately, that's never gonna happen. I became an artist so I wouldn't ever have to have a brush or a comb. I mean, that's not. I'm kidding, but yeah. But I'm having to accept that my fantasy design just isn't possible. It's just not physically possible. I mean, if I had access to an awesome fabricating place and an engineer, maybe they could design it, but I don't have the skills to design the perfect system. My perfect system, right, would be sliders for the for the keyboard, and a lazy Susan, right? So it could rotate around on a lazy Susan and then slide out either direction. But I'm not gonna have the vertical space, I don't think, for a lazy Susan. So I'm gonna have to somehow, I don't know, I'm gonna put something under the some sort of slick material or something to make it easier to slide it, because I'm just gonna have to brute force it, I think. At least because there's just so little room. I can't put wheels on, or um, so I don't know. Maybe we'll grease the. I'm not gonna do that. It would be a bad idea. It gets so dirty in a van, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just need, I don't know, two surfaces. Well, maybe I think what it'll be is I'll have one surface be like carpet, and the other surface will be a smooth, uh, acrylic or wood or something that can slide on the carpet. I think maybe that would work. He says, I haven't owned a comb since before the millennium. Um, I also don't know. Am I crazy thinking that I can do shows outside? I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be hard to do shows outside um, in the winter. I mean, I could do it for an hour maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I do most of the time. I don't do crazy stuff. I'm not doing incredibly complicated things with my fingers. So if I had fingerless gloves and I'm standing up, I'll be more warm because I'm standing up. And I'll be able to move around a lot because I'll have infinite amount of space around me. Well, not if I'm in front of a river or something or a cliff, but I'll be able to move around. I should get a wireless mic, so I can just, and if I could if I oh and I should set it up so I can control everything remotely, so I can just sort of walk around and control the show outside. that would be that would be nice. See, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Doug says, where are the monitors? I haven't entirely figured that out yet, Doug, how I'm going to mount them, but the idea is they will be, I'll have some sort of, so the keyboard will be right here, right? And I'll be seated, so I'm not going to be in a chair. What I'm going to do is have sort of like a stool with a back. What I'm thinking of doing is actually taking my drafting stool, this right here, and just taking the cushion off and building a little bit of a wood frame so I can sort of sit cross-legged on that. I've sort of experimented, and I think it's comfortable enough I think I can do it. But anyway, what I'm thinking is since there will probably be this drawer here. Where is that one? I need to get better labels so I can. No. Where is it? Center drawer. Oh, there it is. What I'm thinking is that on the face of this drawer, there'll be one monitor, and there'll be a little stand for the laptop so I can have two monitors. I don't know that I can do this show with one monitor. I mean, I could, but it would be very unfun to try to do. I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard enough to do it with two. So yeah, so there'll be probably maybe the laptop right here and the monitor here, but I'll still use an external keyboard. So that part is going to be a little inconvenient. It's going to take probably, it'll take at least 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to sort of shift between the two setups. But it would take 45 minutes if I had to physically take apart the keyboard and all that stuff. So I want to have, so what I would do basically is I would put the laptop on the keyboard stand so that all the cables are still connected, and then I would move the keyboard outside or inside, and then bring the laptop out, reconnect the monitor, and I would have a latch on the back of the van. I would have something to hang the other monitor, put the monitor on there too. Originally I thought I'd have some sort of enormous mechanical arm for the monitor that would be attached maybe right there in the van, and then I could sort of pull it out to here or pull it out the other way. But the arm it'd be such a monstrosity. I think it would take up so much space. I don't even know it would have to be an arm that is 4 feet or so. 4-foot arm, I think, to be far enough. Well, no, it'd have to be a 3-foot arm. That idea might still work. Means you have to learn to adapt, for sure. I think which can be a challenge, but I think that's also the beauty of it. Make sure you get this frame idea worked out before you know it. The whole puzzle comes together. Yeah, the frame is your corner pieces. Don't get ahead of yourself. Enjoy a journey. Destination never meets your expectations. Yeah. I agree with you, Muty. At the same time, these decisions involve so much money that I, I, I mean, I'm gonna definitely do things that later in retrospect I'll say there was that was a mistake, but if there was not the kind of money involved, I wouldn't be putting as much thought into it at all. I would be just sort of jumping into it, but but I definitely agree with you in the principle behind that. The other thing I had wanted was to have all the instruments on this on sliders. I think I mentioned this last show, but I can't find sliders that are long enough that would go both directions. So I think to start, I'm not going to worry about that at all. I'm not going to worry about sliders. What I'm going to do is just have it as a box that I sort of lift out and just prop up against the wall or prop up against the side of the van. And actually, I think I might, to start, I'm not even going to worry about the instruments at all. I'm just going to forget. We'll just have keyboard and voice to start because, yeah, that could take some time to figure out. I can't wait until then to start. I don't think I'm going to worry about these drawers right away. So probably when I first hit the road, it's going to basically look like this. It'll be like that. Or not, and this might not even be there. It might be just like that to start. Thanks, Muty. Thank you. I think if I ever do a second van, I think it'll be just so much easier. So much easier to do. So I'll just have so much more experience. I'll just because real world experience is so much more useful for this kind of thing than theoretical. Um, Rose says, what if the instrument wall was on door sliders that can extend out the back, but no need for it to extend the other way if the track was long enough? I'm not sure what you mean by door sliders. I mean, the things I had looked into are sort of metal drawer sliders because they're going to need to extend out, so they're going to need to be able to support the weight of the box because the box will probably be it needs to be able to support probably up to 30 or 40 pounds. So, um, I mean, and I thought I wanted this to be on a slider too, but I don't think I'm gonna have the vertical space for that. So what I might do is actually have sort of like furniture legs that are, that sort of they clip right here. Have these arms that sort of are collapsed, and then I open them up and they lock, and then I pull the keyboard on top of those arms and do the same thing back here. Um, I think that's the best short term thing I can come up with. And it might be the best long term thing too. I was looking at toilets. I wasn't planning on having any sort of functioning toilet, But at least if there's some insurance that if I were going to get it, they require you to have it's RV insurance, but in order to qualify, you have to have what they call a semi-permanent stovetop, or a semi-permanent fridge or a cassette toilet. And I'm not sure how they're defining exactly this semi-permanent. Because I'd heard someone say somewhere else that it has to be bolted down for a fridge. And my plan is not to have it bolted down. It's going to have to be on sliders to come out. It's going to be right there. I'm going to pull it out. So I was just curious, what is, for the toilets, there's something called cassette toilets. And that's a good, I could definitely put that in the van. Just if I have to, if that's the only way I can qualify for insurance, I can get that. But I don't think I need it. Pierre says, how could something be semi-permanent, whether it's permanent or not? I know, I don't understand. I guess they don't want it to just be that you're like, hey, I just put a fridge in the middle of my van, just plopped it there. I guess they want to see that it's sort of part of a functioning. I don't know. It was sort of vague. I asked for clarification, but it didn't. It sounds like the fridge will work because I said I'll have a 12-volt fridge that'll be connected to my electrical system. Is it need to be installed a specific way, and I wasn't given any specific. It sounded like that'd be okay, but Doc says technically isn't everything semi-permanent. I know, but I found a small cassette toilet that would fit. It would fit. I could fit it in this lower drawer. And what makes it a cassette is that I guess what differentiates it from just a bucket is you actually do put water in it, and there's a tank below it for what your business, and you use the clean water to sort of flush it into the business area, and then you can take it apart and dump it. Muses, could they mean it's permanently bolted down? Well, that I didn't get that officially from them, but from on some other van life pages, that's what they said. They said it needed to be bolted down or strapped down. So, but I've seen most people with fridges, or a huge percentage of people with fridges, with our pretty sophisticated setups, they put their fridges on pullouts. And I'm not sure if the fridge is actually bolted down. It's just on a platform that you pull out. And I don't, insurance, you got to be careful. You never know if when you get in an accident, they're going to look for reasons not to cover. So I'm a little paranoid about insurance. Rose, I think door sliders have longer tracks. I mean, the one option is to have two sets of slides, one that comes out this way and one that goes out that way, and just a platform on each of them that I just sort of physically push or pull the instrument rack onto that platform so I can slide it out. That's a lot of work to do, and so yeah, I'm gonna kick the can on that, I think, and just at least to start, just not worry about the instruments at all, not bring them, and then once I get a better set feeling for how everything's working, figure that out. but I'm pretty sure that I'll have enough space for everything I need. Like especially with this middle drawer. Well, this will open up two different directions. I mean, I don't know how this will be physically designed. It might be, it's probably going to be split in half, and one opens this way and one opens that way. But I have a bunch of I need to carry around a bunch of stands, tripods and light stands and mic stand. They'll all go in here, so it's really easily accessible. And some of those things are heavy, so I want heavier stuff lower to the ground. Um, and then all my kitchen and toiletry type personal stuff will easily fit in these drawers. Um, and then if we eventually get an electronic drum set, I think it could fit up there. And then I think up here, probably most of my clothes will be. I won't have a lot of clothes, and some clothes can be in here. And then I'm thinking this will basically be Tommy Pneumatic props and stuff in here. And on the other side of the van, um, that will be, tools and stuff I need for outdoor stuff, that I don't need when I'm inside. I should be pretty well covered. There is a little bit of a, you might have noticed if you saw the latest episode when I showed it on Twitch, but there is a little shelf above the seats, the front seats. A lot of people extend that shelf so that I don't know if I'm going to do that. Certainly not to start, because that's going to make it a little more claustrophobic. Rose says, what are you going to use for a bed? This is my bed right here. It's 6 feet from there to there. Well, I'm going to make it a little longer than 6 feet, but so that, because otherwise, if I'm not perfectly centered, I'll hang off the edge. But there's room because I can extend it. There's space right there to extend it 3 or 4 inches. Just the wood, the wood part. I think it would be nice eventually to have a sink, but I'm not gonna have any space for a permanent sink. So what I'm thinking is a fold down sink that's not even like an official sink. That's just literally a basin, and maybe it'll be attached to this drawer on the back of it, so it flips down, and there'd just be a little hole in the bottom of the basin, and I could just have a tube that would go out the van, and I just use biodegradable soap or something. Oh, good night, Pierre. They make for water. They make special. What I might get it is I don't know if I'll be able to fit it, but they make these special tanks that fit over the tire, the wheel well. But I don't know if I actually need that much water. Um, They also make tanks so you can put underneath the van. But I'm not going to worry about. I think water is just going to be sort of a little improvised for a while. But I think I'll be fine with seven. I think I'd be totally fine if I had 7 gallons. For a week, I'd be fine with 7 gallons. Oh, and I'll have the whole front seat most of the time. Lots of well, I guess Tubi will be sitting there most of the time. I think oh no, Tubi's back. Tubi's body's back in here. Am I forgetting anything large that I'm gonna need in the van that I haven't taken into account? The fridge and the microwave are gonna be right there underneath. There's probably some huge thing I've forgotten. Roses, would 7 gallons be enough for drinking or brushing? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, 7 gallons would be plenty. Because I'm not drinking a gallon of water a day. I do drink a lot of water, but not a gallon. Um, oh yeah, I have an emergency kit and a toolbox. So that the toolbox will be in the back. You know. Yeah, I got an emergency kit when I started doing those hikes. Doug's is one is the first overnight in the van as is. I don't know if I'm gonna do one. I think I would be free. I would get too cold. Yeah, even though I mean, what is it? Like, yeah, I would get too cold. No, I have a feeling I'm gonna be using that diesel heater 365 days a year. 365 days. Means you could fill the whole van with blankets. Yeah, yeah. One idea I had is, well, a lot of people put the diesel heater under the passenger seat, um, which it's just a nice use of space. But I was thinking, I mean, since I'm going to be in this sort of closed area, if I put a heavy blanket there, if I had the diesel heater closer, I could have the tube, the exhaust, the heat vent going right into that closed space, and then I'm uh, not having to heat the whole van. Doug's is a nice 0 degree sleeping bag, would be fine. My body is totally messed up, Doug. I would still have, I'd still have trouble. I mean, I'm trying. Maybe not. I don't know. I think when I did that last camping, or the one in the car, I think I had a 30 degree sleeping bag, or it was like a 20 or 30 degree sleeping bag, and I had lots of blankets, and and it was probably 50 degrees, and I definitely got cold. part of it is I think I got partially out of the sleeping bag though. Roses, what are you going to do for music gear in terms of mixer boards and channel inputs? The so where is that? Where is that here? I don't know where it's gone. Oh, sorry everybody. I don't know if you can see. Is there an angle you can see this? So right here, see, I have all this wood to make the same height as this. There's about almost 2.5, 3 inches of wood here. What I'm going to do is actually I have two interfaces that are rack mounts. They're rectangular. They're about, I think it's 1.5 inches or 2 inches tall. So they'll be built into this and have hopefully enough ventilation in the back in between these spaces, and there'll be a wood surface on top that will be the platform. I won't need this keyboard. So all I need is that one interface and this. So my music setup for the show will basically be contained entirely, other than the laptop, in just this, in about 2 feet by 4.5 feet of space. Everything I need for the show. Roses, what you use for power? Well, my plan is to basically I think I'm still leaning towards getting all the batteries and just going out for as long as I can until the batteries die, and then heading back to going to a campground that has electricity where I can recharge, or I'll still be able to come here to charge stuff. And then once I have an idea of what I need long term, then I'll get the solar panels. But I don't need this. It's not worth me spending the time to rewire all the cables to the new interface. So I just send this from here to the new interface right now. But I made a mistake when I got the new interface. I made a mistake trying to save $200, and I didn't get as many inputs as I would have been the right decision. So that's a little inconvenient, but I'll still be able to make it work. It'll be fine. Because if you have no battery juice, what's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is the food in this fridge spoils, which is not that bad. That's the worst case. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do a show. But nothing terrible is gonna happen. Yeah. My eggs will spoil. That's it. I think, right? Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, the only bad thing is your fridge. Everything else, the only reason I need power is, I mean, I would get cold because the diesel heater requires some electricity. So that would not be ideal. If it's really bad winter, then it would not be safe. Probably. It was like 0 degrees outside, no heat. But yeah, I think that's the only thing. Yeah, I wouldn't have, cause, but I still would be okay in an emergency because I could turn the van on, right? As long as I have gasoline, I could turn on the van, and even if I'm in real trouble, I could run the heat in the van and just make sure that I have ventilation so I don't get carbon monoxide. But yeah, yeah. Whew. This is great here. I was worried you have no power. The trans becomes a brick. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna. I'm not. Um, it's funny that the terminology van lifers use. I'm still getting used to it. It seems a little odd, but I guess it makes sense. So you have your house battery, right? So you have your van battery and you have your house battery. And so the batteries I'm getting are my house batteries. They're not dependent on the van at all. Kixie says when you have a van, you always make sure to drive somewhere tolerable in the winter. Yeah, that's my plan. I don't like the cold that much. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I will not be going to places with bitter snow, I don't think, but I could see sticking around New Mexico in the winter, and it does get sort of cold. It gets cold. It gets below 30 sometimes. Get down to 20 degrees, I think. So I would like to be able to survive that every once in a while. Roses, does the van come with an alternator? Um, I don't know a lot about cars, but I think don't all cars have alternators? I don't know, but um, I think that's sort of how it works, right? You use the battery to start the car, and then in driving you basically recharge the battery. I think isn't that how I think that's how all cars work. But I don't know. I do know that some people get two alternators in vans, and that was an option, I think. Doug says yes. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You just we have a goal to send you on a AAA course for you head out so you do know about cars. Yeah, I need to. I will. I'll. I'll do some learning. I don't know if I'll have time before the first trip, but um, Rose, and I'll probably wait until things have relaxed for me a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So we have, what is it, Tuesday? We got a show on Saturday. And I am going to try to, right now, I just have to prioritize van stuff. Because I want to order stuff as soon as possible. The longer I wait, everything. So I just need to order this stuff as, But that said, if I feel like I have a breathing moment, then sometime between now and Friday we'll debut episode 7. Okay, let's see. What's the main thing to order? It's sound dampening and whatever insulation I'm putting on the floor and insulation for the walls. Those are the things as soon as I have figured out the details of the structure, since that impacts the floor, I'll order those things. And that's a good amount of work of stuff to do with that. And then hopefully over the weeks, several weeks, 3 weeks that it takes to get those things done, I'll have finalized what I need to do for the structure and I can order that. And while I'm working on that, hopefully finalize the electrical and order that. So I'm going to order things sort of as not all at the same time. Okay. Roses, that would mean you're gutting the walls now. Gutting makes it sound more. All I have to do is take the panels off. It's not a difficult thing. Yeah. There's no insulation. There's nothing in the cavity, so it's a really easy. I already did part of it just to sort of get a better idea of how I could mount things, and it was super fast. I will need to do a lot of cleaning in preparation, and I've heard different, some people say you should paint the floor with Rust-Oleum or put anti-mildew stuff down, which I may or I don't know yet. I'll probably do that, I guess, before I lay the floors. Whoops. Are they live? They are. Thanks, beauty. The Da Vinci of. What's there's a new thing on Twitch? It says give feedback. What is that? Have people seen that before? On Twitch channels? On this place we're going to raid it. It has subscribe and then next it has follow and then it says give Deep Waters feedback. What's that? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Whoops. I'll see y'all soon. Have a wonderful whatever comes next. Take care.